right, guys, bittersweet week. All right, I had a lot to unpack if I really wanted to tell you about this whole week, man. But tell you what, it was a roller coaster this week, and I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm happy, and I'm cool. And I've got a fantastic package from Parker Rios, a little act of kindness here. I got it the other day, but I've been out of town, work, and a few things going on. And I want to take just a minute here to say that we lost, YouTube brother. Still kind of getting some of that through my head a little bit. But Herostatuecollector Lou, that was his channel name. He had a show that he did with his brothers in statue collecting and stuff called Immortalized in Stone. He did 213 episodes a few years ago. I was lucky enough to be on a handful of them. Followed him on Facebook. The dude was just awesome. And, so because of this bittersweet week, I got my favorite wine, found some blackberry wine. Don't stereotype me, it's in a mason jar. So here's to you, Lou, and to Parker Rios, man, for sending being on the other side of that, man. We had a loss, and then we got like an act of kindness here, man. So, to you guys. I just want to get that out of the way. Real quick before I get to the 15 pounds of books that Parker sent. I appreciate it, man. Sorry to get back to you, but it was like a really busy week. You'll see what part of it was when I messaged you last night. But went with some friends to a place called Kingsport, Tennessee, where apparently they're having some kind of fun fest weekend or something. I didn't realize how big it was. I think it's about an hour and a half from where I live. And we were going to go see Pat Benatar, which is, kind of cool. We get there, and as we're kind of, after the adventure getting there and all the people in traffic we didn't expect, turned around, and if you followed me on Facebook any at all, or friends with me on there and stuff, you'll see me post a song called Honeysuckle Blue by a band called Driving and Crying that I've liked this band for pretty much since then. They never really got huge, but they're huge in Atlanta and Georgia and stuff. But we're sitting there expecting to go see Pat Benatar. We're giving our tickets. They're putting the wristbands on. And I hear this song called Fly Me Courageous. I'm just assuming that it's like old school concerts where they play music, where everybody was filling the seats and all the stuff. And this was on a football field with AstroTurf, is where we were at. And then I started realizing that's live. And I walked up there and I was like, oh, okay, they got a local band or something covering this song. And I get up there and it's them. It's Driving and Crying, a band I never thought I'd get to see. So they got to play their three big songs that I loved and stuff. And we've had tornado warnings and stuff around here. Some bad weather came in. So they stopped their show early and Pat Benatar came out and stuff. But I went ahead and I shelled out a few bucks. Here's my wristband from the show. To get this double album that's got their first album, some demos. Now, this band is from the Atlanta area, and they're pretty much friends with R.I.P from what I understand. So we got the original album. This is a double album, the original album. And then we have the demos that have been unreleased, but they're produced by Peter Buck, who is the guitar songwriter or whatever for R.E.M, which was cool, right? So that was kind of cool. So now to get to the Parker Rios stuff, I've been listening to the demo this morning when I finally got home. I didn't get home till about 11 this morning. I've already played some of the album. You have no idea what time it is now while I'm recording this. That's funny. Parker Rios, Parker sent this, and I'm real appreciative, man. He sent it pretty quick. He paid some shipping on it, and the post office lost it, sent it to a wrong town. They finally got it to me. By the time I got it, I was able to get it, pop it open, and then take off on the road a little bit. So here we go. So here's some stuff he made. We got two trades, man. Two trades. We got the first two trades to Grant Morrison's JLA run that started in the 90s and stuff, right? Classic story here where Grant Morrison kind of took off. And at the time that this came out in the late 90s, the Justice League had been recovering more or less from Kevin Maguire, James DeMontes and stuff, leaving the series. Dan Jurgens came on, some other people came on. And we got the return of the Big Seven, okay? And when Grant Morrison did this title, he based them on the Greek gods, you know what I mean? For every hero that is there, You could, you know, the watchtower on the moon is Mount Olympus. Superman would be Zeus, and so on and so forth, right? So that's kind of how he sort of did it. He started introducing angels and stuff, and he made these stories, you know, big, you know, Justice League style, right? Superheroes, you know. And then we have JLA American Dreams, where he brought in, there's a couple things going on in this trade. I don't know if it's 6 through 12, but anyway, but he came in there and he got an old Justice League villain. I mean, this was the greatest revamp I ever saw. The Key, and he made him a huge player in this. It was freaking amazing, right? Going on, I don't know if he had this in his collection or if he watched the last video where I got an Act of Kindness sent to me, but I talked about a 3-issue miniseries called JLA Act of God. It's in prestige format. There's 3 issues, and all I could do is ever find number 1. Well, he sent a number 3 in here, and wouldn't you know it, if you look right here, it's a Starman's in this, right? So, yeah, that automatically means this is going to be a keeper for a while. A story that I didn't know anything about. Never even heard of this, but it's by Tom Peyer. I think that's how you say his name, P-E-Y-E-R. Fantastic writer, all right? He's one of those guys that just writes solid stories, you know. But apparently I thought this was a riff on DC 1 Million by Grant Morrison. But it's a really cool Justice League JLA story. I flipped through it where some technology from the year 2000 went back in time. The Justice Society had to deal with the ramifications of this stuff during World War II coming back, I think. And, of course, the Justice League has to go back and try to do something about it. So that was a cool surprise. I will get Justice League JSA team-up books all day long. Tradition since the 60s, which is fantastic. Something I really want to read, Superpower, a JLA one-shot, prestige format, John Arcudi. I've read some of John's stuff, and he's solid. So I'm looking real forward to see what this is. A few little treats that was in this bag is the sequel to Batman the Long Halloween. This was a 13-issue series, and I had it at one time complete and stuff. Sold it over the years, the whole set. But we got Dark Victory, Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale, number 13 of 13. So now that he sent this in here, I'll pick up bits and pieces. I'll start putting this back together. Something I found really cool, again, we have John Francis Moore, Derek Robinson, Jimmy Palmiotti, and whatever. But anyway, you have Batgirl and Catwoman in Birds of Prey, 1 of 2. So, not sure what year this came on. I didn't crack it open, but that's the Jimmy Ballant 90s Catwoman costume from her series. So, I'm going to assume this is 90s as well, which is really cool. One of the series that I have complete, I bought off the stands, and I grew to like it because this was fresh after like Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I think Legends had come out, and all of a sudden it was like all these books were going to start coming out with crossovers and all the heroes, and I kind of was suspicious of it. But Jim Starlin, Mike Mignola came out with a 4-issue series called Cosmic Odyssey, which is fantastic. I can now consider it a classic. And I'm always picking up extra issues of this. This is one of those books where if I see them in a dollar bin or something like that, there's only 4 of them, I'll give them a home, you know. I don't go out of my way. If there's something else I want more or need or I don't already have, I'll leave them behind, but I always pick them up. So this was a cool find. Just fantastic stuff. New Gods, Scattered DC Heroes. This is the one where Green Lantern Stewart had something horrific happen because of his arrogance that he paid for years along the line. And of course it has Bug the Forger in there and Batman popping old Orion right in the face, you know, for a reason over Bug. Okay, JLA Primeval. This is a DNA book, Abnett and Lanning, with Ariel Olivetti doing art. So this is, I'm expecting this to be fantastic. We have cavemen in it. If there's cavemen, Sasquatch, or primitive stuff in it, I'm so there. Sent me another book here, Justice League of America. These were a bunch of one-shots that came out around 2000 or so, where it was under a Real Worlds brand. And so apparently after reading the Superman one I got in a package before this, apparently these guys, the heroes, DC Comics exist, and this is the real world, like here. So they structure some stories around that. So I was glad to give it a chance and gave it to me. Part 1 of another miniseries I have no idea about, Green Lantern Flash, Faster Than Friends. And I'm assuming this is Wally West, Jay Garrick, Whoa, I can't believe I'm going blank on the Golden Age Green Lantern's name. As soon as this is done, it's going to pop in my head. And Kyle Rayner. Oh my God, what is his name? Well, y'all know I'll hear it in the comments before. Howler Mouse does go blank every now and then. Alan Scott. Got it. Shoot. So I'm definitely going to check that out. Seems like it's going into the legacy thing. Then he sent 3 issues out of 4 of something I'm really interested in. I've never even heard of this, but it's JLA Destiny. Prestige format. I mean, that's very Judge Dredd-like in my eyes, so that'll be cool. But I'm really digging these covers, man. Up close, black and white, full of emotion. I mean, you know, we got Guy Gardner there with a Black Mercy on his chest, if I'm guessing right on the cover. So, you know, we got a little Alan Moore tie in there. Black Mercy, for you guys that don't know, is it's a plant that Alan Moore came up with in Superman Annual number 11, I think, for The Man That Has Everything. That's been a classic. That's been made into a JLA cartoon under the Bruce Timm universe. Supergirl, the series, adapted the story and stuff. And the Black Mercy will attach itself to you, feed off of you while it's giving you your greatest dreams and desire in your head. So that should be interesting. Howard Chaykin, again, we have a Guy Gardner 2-issue series that he did. This is number 1. Howard Chaykin do it. Howard Chaykin, you just know you're going to get something a little bit warped, you know. A great series, The Unholy 3, the Jolly Roger Studios, which is Tony Harris, and Tony Harris is an artist who did Starman, Ex Machina, a few things like that. I can't remember who else is on this book, but this is an Elseworlds take on some of the characters, Hourman, Batman, Mr. Terrific, and stuff like that. But it's kind of an OSS feel. It's not so much that they're heroes, but they're sleeper agents or active agents and stuff. It's really cool. Really cool. Something I didn't unbag before this, but I fell down when I saw this. I love Lone Wolf and Cub. I love these square bound editions that Dark Horse did. Lone Wolf, the first, I don't know, year, I think, had Frank Miller covers. And Lone Wolf and Cub is straight. This is an adaptation straight from Japan, if you will, and stuff like that. And Frank Miller, this series had Frank Miller's a fan. Let's just put it that way. So the first 3 issues all bagged together here. But I love Lone Wolf and Cub. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Parker, man. That was awesome. Something I've never seen before. Trina Robbins, Colleen Doran, Jackson Geis. The Once and Future Story. We have a Wonder Woman one-shot. So this should be, never heard of this. So this should be an interesting read, with especially with Trina Robbins on there. Trina Robbins goes way back in comics, and she's also the person that a lot of people don't know. But if you know Vampirella in her little red suit with the collar and stuff like that, she designed that back in the 60s. Okay. What we have here is, I've kind of heard of this, but this is 2 issues of, I guess it's maybe 2 issues, but it's a prestige format GLA story called Haven, I think, right? The Arrival. No idea what this is about, but the artwork looks fantastic. I'm kind of going through these quick, so I'm just trying to give you a taste here. Another thing, I didn't unbag those, and I wish I did now. And here's 2 sets of prestige format of JLA Classified Cold Steel, book 1 and 2. No idea what this is, but there was a Justice League series that came out that Grant Morrison did the first 2 issues for with Ed McGuinness, and it was sort of like, Robot Android Justice League. I'm wondering if this is a sequel to it. Not quite sure. Chris Moeller, I'm not sure who that is, apparently did this. So, yeah, we have Cold Steel. We have some robot transformer-looking superheroes there, don't you think? So that should be cool. All right, this was cool. I mean, this is like Marvel guys coming over here, except for the artist, of course. But Bob Layton pops up here, and he did an Elseworld 2-issue story with Ra's al Ghul, and looks like it's very medieval. It's called Batman: Dark Knight of the Round Table. Bob Layton, Dick Giordano. Get that. Can't get the sticker off anyway. But we'll look at these up later, man. But there's a knight that is Batman. He's in some knight armor. Right there's Ra's al Ghul. So that should be cool. I always love that stuff. Supergirl Wings to Mighty's. Doing something here with her, with Supergirl, an Elseworlds shot. I know these are probably from the late 90s and stuff. Apparently, they just went with those and took off. Something I'm very excited to get because I think I have one of these, and it's actually the one I found. I looked up. I got it out of a dollar bin, and it's actually signed by a few people who worked on the book. But this was a cool crossover they did back in the days of Morrison's Justice League and Peter David and Ramos, I think it was, not Ramos, Dzango on Young Justice before they brought back the Teen Titans, if you will. But it's JLA World Without Grown-Ups. And what happens is that all the heroes who are adults get transformed. I'm assuming it was through magic. I think Clarion the Witch Child or something from the Demon, a Kirby creation. I think he cast a spell or something. It's been a while since I read this or even dabbled in this. But anyway, I think this is, and I can be corrected in the comments because I haven't read it in a while, but all the adult heroes get turned into kids, and all the kid heroes get turned into adults. So we get to see a grown-up Robin, a grown-up Superboy, Con-El, grown-up Impulse, grown-up Stargirl, stuff like that. And there were a few other one-shots. They might have been in annuals that did this. And I think this, I want to say this is the series that led directly to The Outsiders by Judd Winnick, with Nightwing leading the team and stuff. And the Teen Titans that Jeff Johns and Mike McCone brought back. Don't know. It's been a while. Shooting from the hip here, guys. Shooting from pure memory. And if this is what I think it is, this is quite a find, right? John Rossum and Seth Fisher, names you really may not have heard of. But this is some kind of Flash one-shot. Flash Time Flies. I'm going to look up Seth Fisher, but I think this is the guy that was just starting out his career as a penciler. And he was like at a rave or a party in Japan, of all places. His stuff was supposedly very little work put out by him because he died. Apparently this club had like balconies in the center, you know, you could look down on the dance floor and all this stuff. And he fell from one of those and passed away. I'm wondering if that's the same guy. So there's very little work out there by this person, but he was starting to gain attention and stuff, right? One of those what could have been. This is interesting. Never heard of this. Christopher Priest, very underrated writer. Jason Johnson, I really don't know him. I'm not really into the big-headed, cartoony style, big eyes style of art, but I'll give this a chance because it looks like a very light story. But we have an Impulse, Bart Saves the Universe. This could be fun. Christopher Priest, you know, the writer on there. Yeah, that's the statue of Impulse that this is showing up, right? We're almost done, guys. JLA Foreign Bodies. No idea what this is, but Batman and Superman. And we have, of all people, Batman being the Patriot on the cover, and Superman's looking like the Dark Creature. So that should be interesting. JLA Foreign Bodies. Maybe switching roles. And this is really, I'm really interested in this because I don't think I've heard of this also, man. But it's another Elseworlds tale. Ed Hannick and Dick Giudiero. Doing League of Justice, right? And I don't know, man. I don't know if I have a lot of comments on this. I mean, the cover just really lets you know that this is a different time. We have our heroes. You can recognize the heroes by their costumes, but it's not the heroes we know, so that should be interesting. And right on top of all this, I get, this is really cool, written and illustrated by Mike Grail, but I get a little 007 in this thing. I'm hoping this is a one-shot. This is number 2, but that's okay. But that could be interesting, man. This could be interesting. I never heard of this series either. And if I did, it's probably like Gone with Time. But this is through Eclipse Comics, so this is definitely the 80s. No wonder I probably never heard of it. You know, in the 80s, I bought the comics off the spinner rack and hopefully a yard sale here and there and stuff, right? So anyway, thank you, Parker Rios. It's much appreciated. Sorry about, you know, having to wait till the weekend to get the video up. And you guys be excellent to each other.